Welcome back to the Knee Jerk Devotional for Wednesday, March 16th, 2022. Sometimes daily spiritual insight for the short attention span. Our passage this morning is from John chapter 5, verses 1 through 18. It goes like this. Soon after, another feast came around, and Jesus was back in Jerusalem. Near the sheep gate in Jerusalem there was a pool, in Hebrew called Bethesda, with 5 alcoves. Hundreds of sick people, blind, crippled, paralyzed, were in these alcoves. One man had been an invalid there for 38 years. When Jesus saw him stretched out by the pool and knew how long he had been there, he said, "Do you want to get well?" The sick man said, "Sir, when the water is stirred, I don't have anybody to put me in the pool. By the time I get there, somebody else is already in." Jesus said, "Get up, take your bedroll, start walking." The man was healed on the spot. He picked up his bedroll and walked off. That day happened to be the Sabbath. The Jews stopped the healed man and said, "It's the Sabbath. You can't carry your bedroll around. It's against the rules." But he told them, "The man who made me well told me to. He said, 'Take your bedroll and start walking.'" They asked, "Who gave you the order to take it up and start walking?" But the healed man didn't know, for Jesus had slipped away into the crowd. A little later, Jesus found him in the temple and said, "You look wonderful. You're well. Don't return to a sinning life, or something worse might happen." The man went back and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. That is why the Jews were out to get Jesus, because he did this kind of thing on the Sabbath. But Jesus defended himself. "My Father is working straight through, even on the Sabbath, so am I." That really set them off. The Jews were now not only out to expose him, they were out to kill him. Not only was he breaking the Sabbath, but he was calling God his own Father, putting himself on a level with God. My Father is working straight through, even on the Sabbath. So am I. Did you catch that? It jumped off the page to me. Maybe it's because I just put the wraps on reading A Church Called Tove by Scott McKnight and Laura Barrington, where I was challenged to think about what it means for the church to be Tove, or good. I wonder if we think about this enough. For Jesus, doing good was not work. Jesus does good throughout his ministry on the Sabbath. If doing good was a breaking of the commandment, then he would be sinning. This would, of course, sideline his whole mission, you know? But doing good on the Sabbath was not breaking the commandment. It was merely breaking a social convention. When we do good, we are not working if the doing good is coming from a place of who we are. Something that is talked often in the context of theology classes is the reality that on the seventh day God rested. That when God declared all things good, God stopped working. Yet, here Jesus is saying that God is working and still working right on through the Sabbath. How could this be? Unless, of course, doing good is not work. Perhaps when we are living out of our identity, it is something different. I think when we are working out of our identity, we are simply being. Jesus, in healing the man by the pool, was not doing work. He was simply being who he is. Jesus is good. Therefore, doing good is not work. Which, of course, drives me to a place of introspection. Am I good? Is good a part of my identity? Is goodness something that is true of me? I desperately want it to be, but I'm not entirely sure it is. Except that by placing my trust in Christ, I have been united with Christ in life. This means that who I am is hidden with Christ. Whether or not I perceive my goodness, it is there. I think inherently we know this. I don't know anyone that after doing good or living out their goodness thinks, "Man, that was terrible. I hate doing good." We might be physically tired or even emotionally tired after doing good, but there is a sense of joy, accomplishment, or even satisfaction from doing good. Goodness is part of who we are, not only from union with Christ, but also because we are image bearers of the divine. I think that is why we see goodness cut across the human experience. Let us lean into our goodness, and in so doing, we will do good, even when it challenges cultural norms. Let us do good out of our goodness, even when it upsets the pious. Let us do good out of our goodness, because there it is, the very thing we desire to do. Well, until tomorrow, love well, my friends.